To the Joe Percoco trial now, where the prosecution's star witness was once again on the stand today. Todd Howe, a former lobbyist who claims he helped Percoco arrange what prosecutors say was his corruption scheme, back center stage today, as the defense team awaits its chance to knock down Howe's story and his credibility. To federal court in Lower Manhattan we go. That's where we find Fios One's Ray Raimundi live for us tonight, in for Dominic Carter. Ray, what's the latest?
Yeah, Andrew, good evening to you. The government is still controlling the narrative of this corruption trial. Prosecutors introduced to us a score of email communication between Joe Percoco and Todd Howe, the prosecution's star witness. Their focus by the prosecution is to convince this jury that Percoco was financially desperate and was willing to do anything necessary in order to maintain his luxurious and very powerful lifestyle. Prosecutors had a full-force plan in the line of questioning for their star witness, Todd Howe. The former lobbyist who pled guilty to bribery and fraud read scores of emails between him and former top Cuomo aide, Joe Percoco. Prosecutors wanting the jury to see firsthand how Percoco allegedly used his influence in the executive branch to scheme and bribe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those two companies, Core Development Company and Competitive Power Ventures, an upstate power company and a Syracuse brokerage firm, who prosecutors say paid Percoco over $300,000 in bribes. In court, Howe repeatedly testified Percoco promised to use his influence and ties to the governor to do the following: prevent the development company from entering a costly labor agreement, free a backlog of $14 million in state funds, and secure a pay raise for Core Development CEO Stephen Aiello's son, who worked for the state's executive branch. Howe also testified Percoco promised to use his influence for Competitive Power Ventures to obtain a valuable agreement from the state of New York that would buy lower-cost emission credits for a power plant CPV wanted to build in New York, saving the company some $100 million in development cost. In one exchange of emails between Percoco and Howe, Howe writes to Percoco, quote, "Handle Fat Boy," referring to the Core CEO, carefully. "We don't need an interception in that ZD delivery," ZD referring to payment, "or else we will really be up the creek." Percoco responds to Howe by saying, quote, "Now do your part, sending new invoices shortly." Those invoices referring to an alleged stream of income Percoco received from Core Development. Earlier today, prosecutors questioned Howe on email exchanges he made with Core Development to hire Percoco's then unemployed wife Lisa to work for the company for a $90,000 a year salary. The job, part of an alleged payment the company was providing to Percoco for his strong ties to the governor and his powerful influence in Albany. Now, as we've mentioned, Todd Howe has been on the witness stand for the past 2 days. After court proceedings ended today, we got an opportunity to catch up with Percoco and his attorney to ask them about their anticipation of cross-examination of Howe. Take a listen to what they had to say.
We look forward to tomorrow when we get to cross-examine, and we've been looking forward to that for a while.
Do you know what exactly you're going to start off with your cross-examination for tomorrow? What specifically are you going to attack in regards to Todd Howe's testimony that he made over the last 2 days?
Stay tuned, and you'll find out tomorrow.
Mr. Percoco, you want to comment about just if you felt any frustration listening to Mr. Howe today?
I think I've told you what our reaction is, and sort of like asking the Yankees, are they looking forward to coming up to bat? We are.
Now, prosecutors tell us direct examination of Todd Howe will continue into Wednesday morning, and then defense lawyers will have their crack at cross-examining Todd Howe. The first attorney to get to cross-examine Todd Howe will be Percoco's attorney, Barry Bohr, who we just heard from. That testimony will be crucial in determining whether or not this jury believes that Todd Howe is a credible and believable witness. Andrew, we'll send it back to you.
A lot to look forward to when that happens tomorrow in court. Ray, thank you very much. Now, no matter the outcome of the Percoco trial, probably not going to help Governor Cuomo. At best, it shows the governor not really minding the store that closely. At worst, it could raise questions about his operations and those of his top aides. And there are some other election year headaches potentially out there for Cuomo. Among them, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York noting that Cuomo's upstate economic development plans, which total into the billions, are losing steam. His critics might use another term for that. Plus, recent reporting put the total spent on tourism ads at more than $350 million over the past 6 years, a lot of those ads running on New York media. Cuomo was just threatened with a $14 million penalty from the feds if he didn't remove those I Love New York highway sign ads that the feds never approved. Cuomo now says he will take the signs down after fighting that for a while. He's got progressives unhappy over special election schedules, convinced he doesn't really want Democrats in control of the state Senate. Possible primary challengers from his left. He could be running for president. Ask Chris Christie how that helped him in New Jersey. It's possible Cuomo fatigue as he seeks a third term. You know, if Republicans ever found a unicorn of a candidate, I mean, he's an overwhelming favorite to win re-election, but is there any chink in that armor that you see potentially?
No. I mean, the unicorns don't exist. The guy's got over $20 million. He did $15 minimum wage, paid family leave, gay marriage. I mean, I'm not quite clear what the message is, that he spent $14 million trying to promote tourism, that the Fed said take down the signs. That's not a reason to not elect this guy.
If you're looking for a Republican to beat him, you're in the wrong century. But he remains a problematic figure to a considerable number of people, and a lot of it has to do with the 2014 campaign, where he promised to return the Senate to Democratic control, where he used and relied on Bill de Blasio, then has gone apparently out of his way to pick fights. And right now, the MTA subway system. So you put those things together, and what you can perceive is a potential candidate from the left in a Democratic primary. Does that candidate win? That's a tough race to win. But he should be doing better in the Democratic Party than he is. He is not in any danger from the Republicans.
And I guess the concern then becomes 2020 for him if he doesn't have a good showing in re-election this year?
He doesn't have any 2020 problems. He has 2018 problems. And the Percoco trial, if it goes along the way it's going now, is unlikely to be a particular problem for him. If worse comes out,
I go a step further. He's done a tremendous job distancing himself from Joe Percoco, given the strength of their relationship.
All right, we'll take a break. Up next, the latest source of friction between Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio, how to pay for the subways and who should foot the bill. We'll ask the panel how it will play out and how it should play out. Plus, more New York news you need next.